What's going on, everybody? Today we're here to talk about DraftKings Week 4. We're concentrating on the main slate, concentrating on GPPs, talking about cheap plays, punt plays, high upside, high risk plays, and contrarian plays. We will be identifying some chalk. That way we can decide, do we eat the chalk? Do we stay away from it? But we got to identify it if we want to know those contrarian picks for tournament plays. All right, let's start off with the quarterbacks. I'm only going to give you one pick. Keep it simple. I'm going with Zach Wilson. I feel like people are going to be scared to pick him. Human instinct is going to tell you to run away from another Jets quarterback, to run away from Zach Wilson, who's seeing ghost goblins and is just looking like a disaster. But this is the 1 week he can prove himself. Maybe we stack him with Jamison Crowder if we're really risky, really frisky. But I think I'm going to go more towards the standard Corey Davis stack. It's going to be real cheap. Now, do we have a lot of faith in the Jets and Zach Wilson? Absolutely not. Terrible floor. Will he be contrarian? I think so. I could be wrong on this. I think he won't have a high percentage of ownership. I don't think a lot of people will put him in their entries. Also, it's going to be pretty cheap. Now, what I'm looking forward to with Zach Wilson is that his wide receivers let him down when he was playing well. And I'm just talking about basically throw by throw, pass by pass. When his wide receivers are okay and he's open, he's making the wrong reads, he's making huge fatal errors, big mistakes. You know what? If you throw a pick six, that it doesn't really matter for us, right? That's still okay. It's not that bad. You get the ball right back and you're gonna have to throw the ball. So when he's on it, his wide receivers are off. When his wide receivers are on it, he's off. They really haven't been able to connect. It wasn't that much of a disaster week 1. It just was a slow start. If he can kind of put it together for 3 or 4 quarters, we might be able to see something happen. Anyway, he's basically minimum priced, $5,000. Great matchup. I'm thinking he's not going to be highly owned, so I am recommending Zach Wilson for tournament plays. He's not safe, but I love the price. We'll be able to fit in a lot of great wide receivers and stud players if we get that Zach Wilson stack going. For running backs, there are some obviously good names, but we're gonna skip over very obvious good names like this and just go straight to the chalk. Chuba Hubbard, top 10 running back this week. Absolutely love him. He will be chalk and he will be good. So do we decide whether to eat it or stay away from it? If you're only doing one entry this week, I would eat the chalk and play Chuba Hubbard. I love him that much. But really the way to win a lot of tournaments is to do multi-entries. Even if it's a 3-entry max or 20-entry max, get close to that max, right? So I would pick 51% of my lineups would have Chuba, and the other 49, if I have to pick Panthers players, the other 49% would have a guy like DJ Moore. DJ Moore has an excellent matchup. They won't be able to stop him. And I'm going to talk about another running back who's basically in the same situation. I don't think the Panthers will put up a ton of points. Sam Darnold's looking good. Panthers are looking good. But they're not a high upside team. They're not the Chiefs. They're not the Cowboys on a good week. They really are not. They're not that high octane of an offense. They have a good formula and they can win games and their offense can do some things, but I don't think it's high octane, right? It's not that premium racing fuel octane. So anyway, this is what you do. You do multi-entries. You pick some Chuba Hubbard, and then you pick some DJ Moore. You don't want to pick both those guys in the same entry, in the same lineup, but do some there, and that's how we're going to attack this. Same exact strategy for the next guy, and it's almost the same price. Chuba Hubbard, by the way, $5,900 going against the Cowboys. Christian McCaffrey officially ruled out. Next guy, $5,800, David Montgomery. He had a good week 1, and then he absolutely fell off, but he's still getting a good amount of the snaps. He still looks good. It's just the Bears are pretty messy. This will be fairly chalky as well. This will not be a contrarian play. It could be medium, could be lukewarmish, right? But definitely won't be contrarian because the price is great and the price is basically perfect and the matchup is basically perfect. 5,800 going against the Lions. Same exact situation. I love Allen Robinson. Maybe even Darnell Mooney. I don't know. Probably not. But more so, I love Allen Robinson. I love David Montgomery. I would not pick them in the same lineup. This offense, again, if we were much worse than the Panthers, is definitely not high octane. It's a very dysfunctional offense, just a lackluster offense. Like, they just don't put up a ton of points. So I would not put two Bears in my lineups, but I would pick some with Allen Robinson, and I would pick some with David Montgomery, and that's how we attack it. Chalk or no chalk? Both. That's how I attack it. Let's move on to some cheaper options, and I haven't really said anything to shock you and to be like, wow, this is a great video. Well, we're kind of getting to that here. So, Zach Moss, a little bit of hype. I actually put him way higher in my waiver wire video for redraft, regular leagues, season-long leagues, and I put Singletary lower. But Singletary is, quote-unquote, the starter. He's getting a lot of snaps still since day one, and I know Zach Moss is the new toy, but it's like, I mean, come on. Zach Moss is going to be heavily owned, and how much is he? 5,300. I'd probably rather have Singletary at 4,800. Touchdowns are king no matter what format you're playing. PPR, non-PPR, DFS, Dynasty, it doesn't matter what format you're playing. In football, even in real life, in fantasy, touchdowns are always king. And if Singletary can score one more touchdown than Zach Moss, then he's the better running back. That's what it's going to come down to, is which running back gets the most touchdowns. That's it. It's all that's going to matter. And if Singletary's that guy, then he's going to be that guy. Obviously, Zach Moss looking more like the goal line back. They trust him in in garbage time, which we're going to see going against the Texans. And so, yeah, he's the more trustworthy back this game. But do we really know what's up? I mean, yeah, he's going to, if a running back's going to score within the 5-yard line where most of the touchdowns do come for running backs, it's going to probably be Zach Moss. But against the Texans, maybe they score outside the 10-yard line. Yes, it's much more unlikely, but that could be Singletary. All I'm saying is Singletary is going to get his. He's going to play. He's much cheaper, and he has a great matchup. What do we really know? We really know we're going to bet our lives on Zach Moss outscoring Devin Singletary. I wouldn't. It's not that trustworthy. So I'm going with Singletary at 4,800 for a punt. That is a punt play. Now, I do have two minimum price guys. I wouldn't even consider, but I like doing this. I like throwing minimum price guys at you guys. I like it. That's just what we do here. 4,000, I got Tony Jones. He's not going to even really touch the ball, but if this game gets out of hand, maybe we see him as a goal line back. You know what? Actually, this is just a bad pick. I mean, I guess you're really hoping for a Kamara injury, because I'm looking at Saints games and I see a lot of Taysom Hill in these situations where there could be fantasy points. They could score a rushing touchdown and not Tony Jones. See a lot more Taysom Hill. But still, I don't know. He's a punt play. The game script aligns. I mean, you got to get really, really, really lucky. Flat out, this is a stupid pick. It's sounding worse and worse by the second. And I have one that's slightly less worth, maybe. And you know what? I almost won a ton of money last week. Sunday Night Football, man. I was winning well over $1,000, and that stupid Mason Crosby field goal killed it. I ended up winning only like 100 profit on DraftKings in the Sunday Night Showdown. So I had Kyle, if you can guess, I had Kyle Juszczyk in the lineup. Trey Sermon, Rodgers, Adams as my captain, Aaron Jones. It was looking good. I was fifth place, winning like $1,200. And then that field goal crushed it because Mason Crosby ended up putting up like 16 fantasy points, 16 or 17. It was insane. So that sucked. But Kyle Juszczyk absolutely went off. And if Eli Mitchell is out again, I'm sure they're going to use Kyle Juszczyk because, I mean, just to be quite frank, he's so reliable, best versatile fullback in the game, and he actually looked better than Trey Sermon. Like, he is a fullback. Don't get me wrong. This is a crazy dumb pick. But I did have a little bit of faith in him on the showdown. I did pick him. I didn't expect him to quite ball out like he did, but nonetheless, he is a minimum price pick at 4,000 going against the Seahawks. I have a feeling Eli Mitchell's going to play, but I really don't know. It's a pain tolerance thing. Just to be safe, I guess we'll say 51% Eli Mitchell plays. And if that's the case, definitely don't pick this guy. And even if Eli Mitchell is out, you probably still don't want to pick Kyle Juszczyk. But hey, minimum price, baby. It's a minimum price club. A super punt club. Moving on to wide receivers. I talked about DJ Moore. I really like him. He's 6,600, by the way. We're going to go to some less obvious options. And all these guys are right next to each other on the price. I'm talking about 3 guys. So that's Allen Robinson, basically in the same boat as DJ Moore. But he hasn't produced this year. So I will be picking him in some lineups. Then we have Odell Beckham Jr., who is a deep threat. He is a target hog. He can get some yak. Absolutely love him this week. Hasn't really proved anything. But it's all there. I mean, and the matchup is good. I mean, he does have a popular name, but I think people are pretty low. It's not like a name that like people enjoy. They're not like, oh man, he's the next blah blah blah. Like he's like a post hype guy. Like they're bored of him. Not a lot of positive. His stock is fairly low, I'd say, as far as his name value goes. And we got, by the way, Allen Robinson. I just want to make sure I listed it off. Allen Robinson, 5,800 going against the Lions. Odell Beckham, same price, 5,800 going against the Vikings. Great matchup. And then we have one of my favorites here, Slim Reaper Devontae Smith, 5,700. This guy can really put up 30 points this game. Hey, he might put up 6 points as well. He is boomer bust, but this is a game where the game script, you can't get a better game script than this. You're going against the Chiefs. It's the absolute best case scenario. And I'm going Devontae Smith. Maybe some people will go Jalen Reagor for Chief. I'm going Devontae Smith, man. I think these 3 wide receivers are really good, and they're all priced right next to each other, 5,800, 5,800. 5,700. Of course, we talked about Zach Wilson, and so number 1 stack would be Corey Davis going against the Titans, $5,000 for him. Now, some cheap punt plays that I absolutely love. So Nick Westbrook, I don't know is that what's after the hyphen. Sorry, but let's just call him Westbrook. So he's going to be fairly chalky, 3,200. He's going to be a good punt. He looks good. Tannehill trusts him. But instead of him, since he will be a little bit chalky, I like a guy who won't be chalky. And you know what? The price is actually really cheap. His teammate Callaway is more expensive. I'm going to look that up. I think he's like 4,100 or something. We'll look that up in a second to compare. But Dante Harris could be the number 1 receiver for the Saints, at least this week, and he's only 3,500. Jameis Winston can sling it, and the hype for Jameis Winston just died out, right? He played against the Jags in preseason. He lit it up week 1, and the fire has been extinguished. It's over, right? The hype train is gone. It's come to a full stop. And so, hey, man, everyone's going to be picking Westbrook. We're going to be picking Dante Harris. I absolutely love it. 3,500. Oh boy. Like, look at this. No targets, no receptions. Like, come on. He's got, like, come on. Let's go. Let's go contrarian. I don't know. Callaway, just to look up his price in comparison. 4,300. Much more expensive. And like I said, if I'm not picking Jameis or Kamara, the one Saint I would pick would be Dante Harris. Tight end. Pretty obvious choice, Mark Andrews. He's kind of heating up as of late, 5,300 going against the Broncos. We have Kyle Pitts, 5,000 going against Washington. These are obvious picks, I'm thinking, and none more obvious than Noah Fant. This is chalk. 4,300. The price is right. He'll get a lot of targets going against the Ravens, and then just some cherry on the top. Right here, they're ranked 32nd, so this is the number 1 team. They allow the most points they'll have the most fantasy points, 2 tight ends, the Baltimore Ravens defense. And so, the price is right. The matchup looks right on paper. Judy is out. KJ Hamler is out. So everyone's going to like Noah Fant. What are we going to do? We're going to look at some less obvious answers here. I mean, if you're, if you really want a tight ends receiver, you might want to go with Anthony Ferguson with Julio Jones and A.J. Brown ruled out. This might be kind of cool. I'm not dying over this, though. I don't think it's that great, but 3,100 going against the Jets. And yeah, if he hits, I can't really gloat because I'm saying it right now. I don't love this pick. He's a change-up option. He's a change-up pitch. If I got 10 lineups, he's in one of them. That's it. You know what I mean? So I'm not crazy over him. Now, I really like these other guys here. Evan Ingram is an obvious choice with Shepard out, with Slayton out. But just like who we just talked, I just forgot who we were talking about. Odell Beckham. Similar, both catching passes on the Giants. Similar to Odell Beckham, right? There's a lot more Evan Ingram hate. You see where he's going in redraft leagues in the draft, right? He was going like round 7 or 8, whatever, in 2020. And then this year he's going like round 14. There's just a lot of hate for Evan Ingram, a lot of memes. His stock is down. And because of that, even though he's an obvious choice and a great value choice and those injuries there, because of that, it just might knock down his ownership percentage just enough to where he could be borderline contrarian. Like, this could actually happen. Evan Ingram at this price could actually be great value and contrarian. So we'll see. He's going to get the targets. All he has to do is catch. I mean, he hasn't been catching balls the past year, but he's been dropping them. But we'll see, man. I really like that one. And I got a super crazy one. One of my favorite prospects and just a high upside crazy prospect. The Panthers really traded away Dan Arnold. Tommy Tremble is the man. And just like, man, to me, this is obvious. I love him. And I don't think people are going to be on him. I don't know, man. Them trading away Dan Arnold on a team that can do something. It's not like the Panthers are tanking or anything. They're not the Jaguars trading all their players for 5th round picks, 6th round picks, whatever the heck they're doing. It's the Panthers here. They traded away Dan Arnold. Tommy Tremble is the man. He's the receiving tight end, and he just has a lot of promise. The game script is right. We'll see if the matchup, we'll see how Tommy Tremble is. The price is definitely right. And I'm thinking he won't be super popular. This is my favorite punt on this slate. Tommy Tremble, rookie tight end for the Panthers, only 2,500 going against the Cowboys. Let's go to defenses. I got 5 options for you guys, ranging from all different prices. Obviously, the Bills are the number 1 defense. They are also worth the price. You're getting great floor, great ceiling, and the price, it seems expensive. It's really not that expensive. 4,300 for a talented defense going against a great matchup, the Texans with no Tyrod Taylor. It's absolutely great. But I'm going to give you guys some other options. If you want to be a little bit more contrarian for 500 cheaper, you could go with the Saints. Saints defense should be able to stop the Giants. Giants, they don't put up a lot of touchdowns. I mean, the most touchdowns I've seen them put up was really week 1 and week 2. Like, I really haven't seen the Giants put up touchdowns in the past 4 years, 5 years. So maybe like even 6. So, yeah, man, they're just a team that doesn't score, and the Saints defense, when healthy, they're a defense that's elite. So they're 3,800 going against the Giants. And then we have the Dolphins defense. I like them slightly more. If we're not talking about salary, I like the Dolphins defense slightly more than their opponents, the Colts. 3,200 for the Dolphins D. But the Colts are so much cheaper, 2,700. It's going to be better value. This is going to be a close game. What does Vegas have? The Dolphins winning by 2. Fairly low scoring game. We'll see what happens. And I would actually do this as a punt. Not in too many lineups, though. If I had 10, maybe 1. I like it more than Anthony Ferguson. I'll put it like, I like this pick more than the Anthony Ferguson pick. Minimum price, Jets defense, 2,000. I mean, look at this. This thing's a disaster. They still got 4 points in week 3. They got 3 points week 2 and 4 points week 1. So they're averaging like nearly 4 points a game, which, look, it's not good. It's not going to absolutely crush it in your GPP, but you can literally win first place as long as your other picks hit if you score 4 points. I've seen it done before. I've seen defenses put up 2 fantasy points and take down the Millie Maker. It has happened quite a bit. Not every pick has to be perfect. And for this price, I mean, it really shouldn't hurt you unless they put up 0. You don't want a 0. That's gonna hurt you. I don't think you're taking a first down if you get a 0. But going against the Titans, with the Titans struggling, no Julio, no A.J. Brown, I think the Titans will still be good. But if they're somehow able to contain Derrick Henry, they can do some things. I mean, I don't think they're going to be the worst defense this week. And I feel that, as I'm saying that, they're the worst defense. But I don't know, man. I don't look, in hindsight, yeah, this might sound dumb, but as of right now, I don't even see them being bottom 5, probably not even bottom 10, right around there maybe. So top 22, let's say that. Jets, man, I'm putting it right here. I'm guaranteeing it. Okay, not really guaranteed, but I'm really thinking they're going to be a top 22 defense. And with that, that's going to mean they're going to be tremendous value. So they're going to have as much value as the Cowboys or Colts, like a $2,700, $2,600 defense that you're getting for only $2,000. Boom. There we go. That's my punt. I'm pretty excited about that punt. New York Jets defense, everybody. I just might do it. All right, guys, we're going to end the video there. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash that like button. I read all the comments that you're leaving on the YouTube. So go ahead, leave your comment. I will get to your questions. I read everything. Thank you guys so much for the support. Good luck this week in DFS, in redraft, in dynasty, and keeper, everywhere. Peace out.